It was a decision of organizers, yeah. So everything will be in English. This one and working in the sections.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just took the liberty to chat a little bit in Russian, but yeah, from now on we'll be speaking in.
Oh, Professor Tabata, nice to meet you. Yeah.
Very glad to hear you.
オフですよね、マイク。でここがオンになってるんで、これが拾われるとあそこに聞こえるっていう。で、
I have a feeling that some of our participants are currently elsewhere, not in this meeting, because we have over 150 participants registered for it. And while I understand that some might have been unable to join, email right now, don't be surprised, with the link of this introductory, link to this introductory session.
Марина Викторовна, 1 минута у нас, да? И вперед. Или сколько там? Ага. Okay, good day, good morning, good evening.
The
dear
representatives
colleagues, dear friends, we are ready to start our Golden Seminar as a part of Northern Sustainable Development Forum. Thank you very much for joining us, all of you. As you remember, 1 year ago, we also met on this kind of seminar as a part of the first Northern Sustainable Development Forum here in Yakutsk. And as you remember, as I remember, 1 year ago, only two Japanese professors, Professor Otsuka-sensei and Professor Sugimoto-sensei, they made their presentation online. This time, and all other participants from the Japanese side, they were here in Yakutsk, and in the communication face-to-face, we made our relationships. So today, we are in another conditions. Even here in Yakutsk, where I'm now in studio, I'm only alone here. All of other participants from Yakutian side, they are in a different places right now. Welcome all of participants from Japanese side, from Russian side. It's really nice to have all of you today here. As we decided, we organized this Golden Seminar today focused on main target group. So it's Japanese and Russian university teachers and students, companies, local and central governments. And we decided that we will use English as a main language of our seminar during all the stages. But because so many students decided to join us, so we organized in parallel with this translation. We are working in face-to-face online, but face-to-face we can hear each other, can say something in this format. But we also organize a translation on the official website of the forum, so it will be made in English, yes, as we are talking. And some translation to Russian language will be organized. So the first opening ceremony, yes, everything in English, this part. Then 4 sections will work after a half of hour after our opening remarks. Also, everything will be there in English. And our final stage, we will try also to make a possibility for translation process, because it will be some discussions, so maybe some of participants, not only the speakers, they will need some help from this point of view. Okay, so our seminar will be focused on in 4 sections. We know all the people here who will be the moderators and co-moderators. Thank you very much. You sent in prior, some of you 1.5 months ago, your presentations, your materials. It's still possible to share, to join, to see. So we decided to make shorter presentations, as short as possible. And during the sections activity, half to half. So 50% of the time will be focused on making the presentations shortly, and then 0.5% of the whole time we will make as our discussion. I want to say a few words as a starting point. Of course, I have to say that I have a co-moderator right now for this opening ceremony. This Professor Shin Sugiyama. He is from Institute of Low Temperature Science of Hokkaido University, so he also will make the presentation from the Japanese side. And of course, I have to mention that why we decided to organize this seminar. Of course, it's a part of Northern Sustainable Development Forum, but it's not only about Arctic. We understand that many participants from Russian side, from Japanese side, they are not deal with Arctic, with the North, but they're doing some other things, very important things for our cooperation, for communication. So today we will talk shortly about new initiatives from the Japanese side, support from the Japanese government, same from Russian side, what we are doing on our side, what kind of new opportunities appeared for new projects, new cooperation. I want to show a few slides. Please make it possible. Just a few slides from our side. So I want to say a few words about scientific and educational centers. It's part of activity in Russian Federation as a part of National Project of Science. You can see the the main objectives of this national project of science. So leading countries in priority areas of science for the country, provide advanced growth in internal research expenditures, and also the third one, which is very important for all of us today, it's organize the involvement of more Russian and foreign scientists to make research in Russian Federation. Theoretically, or like it's in the papers from the Central Ministry of Science and Higher Education of Russian Federation, so world-class scientific and educational centers in the Russian Federation will have a target, so commercialization, solving some major scientific and technological problems, involvement the results of scientific research, and a task, its integration of universities and scientific organizations and their cooperation, which is mostly focused on the real sector of the economy. At this moment, we have 5 centers which was officially organized, and till 2024, we are waiting not less than 15 such centers will be organized in Russian Federation. But of course, the regions are working, so they are not only waiting from this federal money, federal grant. For example, here in northeastern part of Russia, where we are now, Republic of Sakha, some other neighboring regions of Russia, we decided to organize the Scientific and Education Center North with target and tasks which you can recognize, and then I will share this presentation you can see closer for how it works. And we choose the main directions of the Scientific and Educational Center North. So man in the north, rational subsoil use and ecology, and effective social and economic infrastructure. And some projects already prepared by the representatives from the scientific side, from high institution educations, from different regions, different companies. Here on the screen, you can also recognize it. Some projects already prepared. It's in realization. And what is then important that when we are talking about the initiators of this, organizing this scientific center, so it's 4 regions of Russia: Republic of Sakha, Kamchatka, Magadan, and Chukotka autonomous districts. And we have also involvement of Sakhalin region and Khabarovsk region. And here you can recognize that this kind of activities now is everywhere in Arctic zone and far east of Russian Federation in different parts. But in my presentation, I focused on the green area. So it's a northeast part of Asia of Russia. Some indicators, comparison of indicators of Russia and the Far East in the development of science, also some interesting data about growth of number of researchers, average age of researchers. We are older and older here in the Far East. And also you can recognize the big difference in the middle, lower part, lower one in the middle, that's budgetary funds allocated to science. You can recognize that from the government, from the budget in the Far East, we accept like 82% from the whole money. So I think that organizing the different kind of educational and scientific centers like North, it's very important stage to involve more private money to the research. And yes, research and education center of the North, as we call as a reset point for all of these regions. Okay. Thank you very much, and I'm given.
Thank you.
I am giving floor, to Professor Sugiyama. Yes, please.
Yeah, Marina-san, may I share my slide?
Yes, please. If you send the request, we, the organizers, can grant your request. Okay.
Yep.
Can everyone see? Yeah. Okay.
Do you see my slide?
Yes, I can see. Everyone? Yeah, please let us know if you have any problem.
Thank you very much. My name is Shin Sugiyama from Institute of Low Temperature Science, Hokkaido University. today I'm very happy to see you all, especially for those Russian colleagues, because I studied glaciers and ice sheets in Greenland, Antarctica, and in Patagonia, but my first glacier for research was in Kamchatka. 20 years ago, I was in the eastern coast of Kamchatka for field expedition with my Japanese and Russian colleagues. And I spent about 2 months there to study glaciers. So this was a huge memory of me. And I haven't worked in Russia for a long time, but today I anticipate future possibility to work with you in Russia and in Kamchatka. Today my role is to introduce our new Arctic research project, ARCS-2. But to introduce this project, I have to go back to 2011 when we established a project named GREEN. And before 2011, the Arctic research was very active in Japan, but I would say the researchers were doing their own research business. And this 2011, we for the first time established coordinated multidisciplinary Arctic project in Japan. The project was funded by Ministry of Education and Science, and the project was led by National Institute of Polar Research in Tokyo. And actually more than 300 Arctic researchers were involved. So this was the first big Arctic research project in Japan. After the success of GREEN, we continued this effort with ARCS project, which is Arctic Challenge for Sustainability. This is again funded by the ministry, and this time the project was led by NIPR and also Japan Agency for Marine and Earth Science and Technology, and also our university, Hokkaido University. And we studied Arctic environment as we did in GREEN, but in ARCS, we started collaboration with human and social scientists. So it's getting more and more multidisciplinary. And this ARCS project ended in March this year. And then we launched the next project, ARCS-2. And this will be operated for the next 5 years. The funding is from the ministry. And again, the 3 institutions lead the project. And we study natural science, human and social science. And this time, we have a lot of engineering scientists to give clear solution to the problems happening in the Arctic. So let me show you the overall structure of the project. What we do is cutting-edge interdisciplinary science in the Arctic. And to do so, we have 2 main wheels. One is 11 research projects operated under 4 strategic goals. And another one is priority subjects, consist of capacity building, research promotion, and information given for policy and industry. And we also work on the setting infrastructure for international collaboration, research vessel, satellite observation, and also data archives. And overall, the final goal of the project is to contribute to sustainable Arctic futures. So 3 institutions are leading the project, and the director of the project is from NIPR, Hiroyuki Enomoto. He is a researcher of snow and ice, and he has experience in Russia. And Hiroyuki Miyaoka is another sub-project director from NIPR. He has experience in both Arctic and in Antarctic. And from our university, Yasushi Fukamachi is the sub-project director. Actually, he is the director of Arctic Research Center of our university. And Takashi Kikuchi from Jamstec is taking another position of sub-project leader. Now I want to briefly introduce the research projects. We have 11 research projects and 4 strategic goals. The first goal is to observe the changing environment. This will be done for atmospheric environment and also the ocean and cryosphere and land. And the second goal is to project future climate. And there we have 2 projects. The first one is teleconnections between Arctic and middle latitude. And the second one is technological improvement for the climate projection. And third one is relatively new because it studies social impact of the Arctic climate change. And there we study human security, energy and food, and also Arctic sea route. This is important part. And also myself studies coastal changes, especially in Greenland. And the last one is legal and policy response for sustainable Arctic. One project is for international legal regimes, and the second one is for policies. Today, I want to give focus to this third one because this is relatively new, our challenge in the next project. Now we combine our scientific knowledge to the impact on the society. There's a number of changes in natural environment in the Arctic, and I think it's easy to think about its huge impact on our society. Among those, we focus on 4 of them. One is natural hazard triggered by climate change, and the second one is northern sea route, which is now opening. And the third one is life and culture, which is influenced by the climate. And the last one is the influence of the climate on social and economical infrastructures. Now I want to introduce one of the projects as an example. And I show you this project because this is one of the most relevant to the participants in this seminar. And this project is by Hiroki Takakura from Tohoku University. And it studies human security, energy, and food in the Arctic under climate change. So this is one of the 11 research projects of ARCS2 project. And Hiroki and his team study social impact of climate change in Siberia and also Alaska and the Nordics, with focus on permafrost, energy resource, and food. Hiroki himself is an anthropologist who studies traditional life, food, culture, and economy, how they are influenced by recent climate change. He has a long history of research in Siberia. And in this project, many of the researchers in our university is contributing to the project. Masato Furuya from our university and his graduate student Yanagiya, they recently studied the impact of wildfires on permafrost thawing in East Siberia. And this is a huge problem on the land in the Arctic. And of course, this gives impact to the people and life living in this region. And another example is Shinichiro Tabata from our university. He studies impact of energy resource development on the society and economy. He has been working on this subject for a long time in Russia, and he continues his work in the ARCS2.
I'm sorry, we are running out of time, Professor Sugiyama.
Yep, I will
Sorry.
hurry up.
Yeah.
So let me give you some more information about this structure. One is this capacity building. We are planning to send a lot of young researchers, graduate students, officers to Arctic countries and institutions in other countries for several weeks to 6 months. So I believe this should enhance inter-exchange between Russia and Japan. And another one is information for policy and industry, because our goal is to contribute to sustainable Arctic future. We want to give information to policy and industry. One example is to suggest the best route to cross the Arctic Ocean based on Arctic sea ice condition and vessel capacity and safety. So this kind of effort should contribute to safe and efficient vessel operations in the Arctic. And finally, I want to introduce one more research platform.
Sorry, Professor Sugiyama, we'll have to finish because we'll have to start the section meeting on time. We just
I will move on to the
left,
next
yeah.
slide. That is the final one, all right?
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yep. And we also set several international research platforms in the Arctic. One of those is in Russia, Cape Baranova. So using this kind of platform, we enhance international collaboration. So this is the final slide. To conclude, we initiate our new Arctic research project, which will be for the next 5 years, 11 research projects and 4 strategic goals. And we have plenty of opportunity for fellowship, and we plan policy and industry contribution. Okay, so I do believe this will be a new impetus for Japanese-Russian cooperation for research and education in the Arctic. Thank you very much, Marina. Thanks for time.
Thank you very much, Professor Sugiyama, for sharing information on these exciting prospects with us. And with your permission, I'll be moving to the final presentation in this opening session. Dear colleagues and partners, it is my pleasure to use this occasion for announcing the establishment of the new specialized section, Environment, Resource Development, Multicultural Education. As I informed you, today's seminar is the first gathering of the members of this section. Let me explain in brief about our HaRP Platform specialized sections in general and this new section in particular. As I said at the beginning, I'm a member of the team of the Human Resource Development Platform for Japan-Russia Economic Cooperation and Personal Exchange, HaRP. It was launched as a result of a successful joint application by Hokkaido University and Niigata University for the 1917 Inter-University Exchange Project, Japan-Russia projects, as the Type B program. The HaRP objectives were stated in the application as, first, building a platform for accumulating information and experience gained by the universities participating in this program that would be useful to other Japanese universities carrying out joint projects with Russian universities. And second, contributing to the activities of the Association of Japanese and Russian Universities. As one of the instruments for achieving these objectives, 8 specialized sections corresponding to the 8-point Japan-Russia Economic Cooperation Plan adopted by the leaders of both countries in 2016 were created. Specialized sections are organizations composed of representatives from academia, industry, and government in Japan and Russia that aim to train specialists capable of contributing to the promotion of economic cooperation and development of both countries. You can see a list of these specialized sections on this slide, including the former Energy Development section, which was reorganized into the new section. Slides 3 and 4 show the Japanese and Russian universities involved in the specialized section activities. The new specialized section will focus on the topics at the core of sustainable development, which is one of the key concepts underpinning the values of the modern global society, and is also an issue area where Japan-Russia collaboration may contribute to global society in general. The new section will cover the following areas of education and research: environmental monitoring in the Russian Far East and North, regional development, including resource development, and social issues of local communities, including indigenous peoples. I'm very pleased that over a dozen of the participants of the energy development section and other sections, as well as new HaRP partners, showed an interest in joining this section. The last 3 slides provide an outline of the cross-section activities last year, which led to the creation of this new section. They include the Cold-Lens seminar, the Arctic and Asia, which consisted of 4 sessions, and roundtable discussions held as part of the Northern Sustainable Development Forum at Yakutsk on September 23-27. It was co-hosted with Northeastern Federal University. Lectures and workshop, panel discussions, and the talk show North for Work and Life co-hosted with Norilsk State Industrial Institute, which was held as part of the World Winter Cities Association for Mayors working meeting at Norilsk on November 14-18. And finally, visit to St. Petersburg for Japan-Russia Industry Academia Government collaboration on the occasion of the 3rd Working Group meeting on cooperation and development between Hokkaido and St. Petersburg in November last year. We look forward to your ideas and projects within this new specialized section and pledge our continued commitment to supporting your activities. Thank you. And Mikhail, everyone, now it is time for us to leave this Zoom meeting and join the section meetings for which you registered. We'll all meet again at the concluding plenary session. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, we are ready to move to our sections.
Session.
I wish you a pleasant walk, 90 minutes of discussions, and we have a short break, and we will back all of us together at 4:50 p.m. Yeah, for concluding remarks and everything. Okay, we are changing our links, all of us.
Okay, yes, we can change now to. Please leave this meeting and click on the. I sent meetings via the chat. Okay, we'll be leaving now and joining. Все в порядке, все слышат?
Да, Марина Викторовна?
Уже так, я вижу 24 человека у нас.
Marina, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, I'm very happy that you're on board. Mikhail, Otska Sensei, are you here? I'm looking. I can see Otska Sensei. Okay. So, Mikhail, Otska Sensei will be starting now.
Okay, so we can start already? So everything is fine?
Yeah, we can start with the first presentation because some of the speakers, as I said, will be joining other sessions.
No.
I
I know everything about this. Yeah, we discussed it yesterday.
Okay.
So it's just
Yeah,
technically
I'm telling
our
other,
service is asking.
I'm telling other participants as well. Please be cooperative.
Okay, we can.
Please observe the time limit. Yeah, we can start now. Inna, you can have the floor now.
No,
Please
just wait a second. Yeah.
Share your desktop. Yeah.
I try, but I see organizer of the demonstration.
Excuse me, can I have a question, please?
Yes.
Is it possible that you will show presentations, or I should show my screen myself?
I'm sorry, can you repeat? I was just addressing another question.
Is it possible for the organizer to show the presentation, or I should show my screen myself?
Yes, you should. As I wrote yesterday, you all should show your own screen. Inna, please.
Я вижу, что организатор отключил демонстрацию экрана участников. Я не могу начать демонстрацию.
Организаторы, пожалуйста.
Okay, so everyone is ready. So we can start our section number 3. So we have a few co-moderators today. So it's Professor Otsuka Sensei, Professor Tabata Sensei, and myself. So as we explained before, so all the presentations was sent in prior. So we have 5 minutes for each presentation. 50% of our time will be for presentations and 50% for discussion. So, okay, so we can start. I'm giving floor to the Japanese side. Please.
No, Inna, please start.
Okay,
everyone.
Dear participants, thank you all for being here now. My name is Inna Bogun, and I'm working as an engineer at Scientific and Research Center, Renewable Energy Resources and Installation based on them in Peter the Great, St. Petersburg Polytechnic University. I thank the organizers for the opportunity to present our current project, Energy Efficient Systems based on renewable energy for Arctic conditions. Our project is a part of cross-border cooperation program project financing from the European Union and the Russian Federation and the Republic of Finland. Project partners are Lapinranta University of Technology, Central Research Institute of Structural Materials, Prometei, and Peter the Great, St. Petersburg Polytechnic University, which I represent today. The main project aims are to improve cross-border institutional framework with the aim to increase the level of knowledge, innovative potential, and lifelong learning in renewable energy production in the Arctic, and to develop guidelines, recommendations, and educational materials on implementation of lightweight, energy-independent, environmentally safe, and cost-effective structures able to operate in the extreme temperatures in the Arctic and other isolated areas. In our project, we solve the extreme challenge in developing structures for remote Arctic areas, creating cost-effective ways to produce Arctic structures, for example, for exploitation in the Arctic wind energy potential in remote areas. We are also increasing the number of qualified specialists in the field of energy and material science in harsh climatic conditions, improving and expanding educational programs. The FREIA project is distinguished by an integrated cross-disciplinary approach. Our program area is emerging cluster for Arctic technology development, which based on extensive Russian and Finnish experience and have high scientific competence and technical knowledge. To create a reliable structure that works stably in the far north, it is necessary not only to solve the engineering program for its development, but also predict the situation in which the structure will function. It is necessary to take into account climatic factors, choose the right materials, think over the entire cycle of work, starting from installation and welding of a modular structure in difficult weather conditions. That is why specialists from various fields work together on the project. Scientists of Peter the Great and Petersburg Polytechnic University presented their developments and reports on the results in the international conferences. As you can see, it's a rather wide range of themes presented there. Also, 4 bachelors and 4 masters of the Polytechnic University successfully defended their graduation theses in key research areas. Within the framework of the project, 2 grants were received. During the first year of the project, participants from Polytechnic University, under the direction of Professor Viktor Yelistratov, conducted research related to the formation of a database of natural climatic information in the Arctic, which is fundamental in the design of equipment and structures for the Arctic zone. And under the direction of Professor Viktor Karhin and Sergei Parshin, masters and postgraduates solved the problems of thermodynamics and metallurgy of welding. The creation of complex structures requires deep analysis and accurate calculations. Modern engineering is impossible without modeling the basic processes. So the scientists group is working on a problem of modeling the mechanics of strengths of welded structures in close contact with our partners from Leningrad University under the direction of Timo Björk. Considering the experience of working with our colleagues, we are confident that the set goals will be achieved. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Inna. Yeah, so now you can go to another section, maybe join us again, okay? After you will make a presentation there. Please try. Okay, thank you. Okay, so we are moving to the next speaker, representative of Otaru University of Commerce, Professor Kobayashi. Yes, please.
Mikhail, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sure. Am I right, Marina? That Professor Kobayashi is the next one?
I cannot see him among the participants. We have 2 Professors Kobayashi, so please let's move now to Alexander.
Okay, okay, so we are moving to the third speaker.
Join us, yeah, we'll give him the floor.
Okay, yeah, so Khabarovsk State University of Economics and Law, the head of research center from this university, Voronenko Alexander. Yes, please, your time.
Well, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Okay, here, and I'm starting my presentation.
Yeah, please. Share yours.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Okay, then I will try to keep everything short. I hope that everyone was able to get acquainted with the report. And that's why I will just stop on main ideas. Well, actually today, many scientists and authorities are speaking about sustainable development, but what actually is sustainable development? Where is this margin between economic development and between sustainability? Russian scientists distinguish 2 methods of Arctic development. It's actually rotational or nomadic method and resident method. It is obvious that sustainable development of the region can be achieved only by implementing the resident method of the development of the Arctic. And here we are coming to small and medium business, because small and medium business, it's actually a main link of a residential method of development. Why it is so? Well, you see, when we are implementing such large-scale projects like Yamal LNG, and they are conducted with these huge state or transnational companies, and to say the truth, they are not really interested in sustainable development, because it's a lot cheaper for them to use rotational method and not to invest into social and into social objects and other infrastructure. That is why main leader of sustainable development of this residential method is actually small and medium business who lives in the region and who is interested in its evolvement. And Russian government actually recognizes the influence of small and medium business. And here you can see that we have lots of projects, but their effectiveness, well, it's actually another question to speak about. So here on next few slides, you can see the current situation in the sphere of entrepreneurship in the Arctic zone of Russia. And to say the truth, the current situation is not really good. And another thing what we can see from this analytics, from these statistics, is that western part of Arctic zone of Russia, and not only of Arctic zone of Russia, but western part of the Arctic, I mean the Atlantic Arctic, is a lot more developed in terms of small and medium business than eastern part. There are some reasons of this. Of course, we can speak about the density of the population, but we can do anything with the density of the population in a short term. But the thing what we can do is actually cross-border interregional cooperation. You see that in the western part of Arctic, we have such great institutes as Barents, Euro-Arctic Council, and others who are actually giving boost to such interregional cooperation between small and medium business. In eastern part of Arctic, we don't have such institute for now, and actually that small and medium business in such territories who are long away from the center and who don't have efficient conditions to domestic demand, that for them this cross-border cooperation is really important. So that is, here we are smoothly coming to the Bering Pacific Arctic Council, which was announced during the 24th meeting of Russian-American partnership, which was held in 2019 in Khabarovsk. And we hope that this institute can really give a boost to small and medium business in our area, in the area of Eastern Arctic. Here on these slides, you can see that we are going to have a working group on economic development and small and medium business under this council, and hopefully it will really do good for this. Today, the idea of this Bering Pacific Arctic Council is still under consideration. Well, hopefully after our COVID situation, it will go further. So, well, thank you for your attention, and I am ready to answer the question during the discussion. Thank you.
Yes, okay, thank you. Yes, so we are waiting for the discussion time, and now it's Otsuka Sensei, Professor Otsuka. Yes, please, it's your time. Thank you very much. It's second year straight you are the part of our seminar. Okay.
Just a moment. Can you see my presentation slide?
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm starting slideshow, but you can't see. Okay, try again.
Please,
can you see this?
No, we can only see the black screen with your name.
Just a moment. Try again. Can you see my slide?
Only your face.
My face?
Yes, your face, but not your... Please send the requests or to share your screen, your desktop.
How about this?
Yeah. Yes, it worked.
Okay,
Please
thank you. Sorry.
start.
Yeah.
Start now.
So, dear ladies and gentlemen, this is my pleasure to join this session and meet many friends in Russia. And COVID-19 prevent us to visit Yakutsk this time for us, but I do hope to visit again after we overcome this pandemic. And today I'd like to share my idea on future logistic network to integrate Northern Sea Route and inland waterway. And since 2010, Northern Sea Route gradually achieved to be used for commercial shipping between Europe and Asia. And the next step in the future would be integration of local network and international network by connecting inland waterway and Northern Sea Route. And together with the development of transport network and economic relationship between regions that have not connected each other would be a key factor. And step by step, Arctic is now expanding its commercial possibility, such as Northern Sea Route, LNG production, and optical data cable project, and so on. And the Arctic Ocean is becoming a pathway of the East and West today. Of course, there lies many difficulties. For example, regarding navigation, there's uncertainty of sea ice conditions, search and rescue problems, risk of accident, poor communication infrastructures, and not enough ice-class vessels, and so on. And regarding shipping, poor service availability, not enough cargo demand, limited season, lack of intermediate port and cargo demand are still exists. So we need to assess the possibility of the Arctic pathway carefully. But as we have experienced in the development of the Northern Sea Route, the most important determinant might be a people's ambitious motivation toward future. And here I would like to show you an ambitious idea of the integration of logistic network to connect Arctic inland region and other regions, including the Arctic. So here is one of the examples. Tomakomai Port Authority. Tomakomai Port is located at the northern island of the Japan, had carried out trial container transport via Northern Sea last year. And of course, it is not commercially feasible in total at this moment, but we found a positive possibility as well from this project. And here's a brief description of a key factor for integrating Northern Sea Route and river transport system. For example, firstly, seaports needs to accommodate larger, about 190-meter long cargo ship, of which COSCO Shipping operates for trans-Arctic shipping. And inland waterways should have enough depth for river barge transport, and thus survey and maintenance of infrastructure should be more achieved. And land transport infrastructure to be integrated together with river transport as well. And in the business point of view, potential cargo would be maybe cargoes for tramp liner service or destination shipping. And raw material would not be easy to find effective scenario at this moment because of shipping cost and capable volume for one voyage. In this regard, characteristic item in the region will be able to have a potential. And in not large scale, niche business model could be the first step. And this is my idea today. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.
Okay,
Professor Otsuka.
Okay, thank you very much. So we are moving back to the Professor Kobayashi from Otaru University of Commerce. Yes, please.
Hello, can you see me? Hi.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to share my presentation slides with you.
Yes, please. Okay,
let's see. Okay.
We can see them.
Great, thank you. So, first of all, my apologies for the late participation. And I'm going to give you a quick insight about the role of WTO and other trade agreements for the orderly development of technologies and economic activities in the Arctic region. Okay, as you can see, all of us know that there is a huge economic potentials in the Arctic region, especially for the navigation purposes. And let me be clear. So my point is that this is only a work in progress, but I'd like to cast light on the potential possible roles of trade and investment agreements like WTO, free trade agreements, and investment agreements. So let's see. So as you know, there are quite rapid development in shipping technologies. So already a number of academic institutions and companies are developing small-sized unmanned surface vehicles for preparatory researches in the Arctic, for navigation and for scientific researches and so on. And sooner or later, there could be large-scale unmanned surface vessels like tankers or cruise ships with ice-breaking functions that can navigate throughout the Arctic Ocean. And what will happen? Probably there are a number of issues that we should face up. And of course, there are maritime laws and environmental issues and labor issues, but let me explore the possibilities of trade laws. So for the sake of this short presentation, I'd like to just name several trade agreements and investment agreements that can have some bearings with a technological and economic development. The first one is a GATS, General Agreement on Trading Services. So WTO, this is part of the WTO agreement, and WTO covers trading services along with trading goods. And for the purpose of navigation, international navigation, the unmanned surface vessels, so autonomous ships, it's a kind of provision of services, international services, cross-border services. So that kind of the unmanned surface vessels, introduction of those autonomous ships in the Arctic region can bring a new type of legal issues. And so we need to take a look at those trade agreements that covers trading services. And there are other agreements like ITA and ECT. ECT stands for Energy Charter Treaty that concluded in mid-1990s with Russia and other major trading partners that covers trade and investment as well. So so let me stop here, pause here for the sake of time saving, and I'm happy to discuss these new issues involving trade and investment with you guys. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Professor Kobayashi.
Okay, so thank you. So now we are moving to the joint presentation with a new project from Professor Tabata-sensei and Professor Goto. Yes, please, it's your floor.
Can you hear me?
Yes, everything is fine.
Yes, we can.
And can you see the slide?
We can see the slides. That's
okay.
Right.
Then we begin. Okay, my name is Shinichiro Tabata, and here Masanori Goto. We'd like to talk about our new project on the Sakha economy. This presentation does not show any results of research. It illustrates our plan or intention of the project that has just started. Please. 形上げてもらった方がいいかな。Oh, okay. Here is the content of our presentation. Next. Okay. Okay. This is the outline of our project. This project is included in ARCS-2 project, which is a flagship project of Arctic studies of Japan, explained by Professor Sugiyama at the beginning of today's seminar. We plan to analyze data of 35 districts of the Sakha Republic and to make an intensive field research in one district each in central, northern, eastern, western, and southern parts of Yakutia. This is the list of members, mostly the researchers who studied the Russian economy and society for many years. And the purpose of the project, we aim to examine influence of resource development on regional economies and societies in the Sakha Republic. Influence on regional economies and societies means influence on living environment of local people, including natural environment surrounding local people. More concretely, we intend to study influence on economic activities of people, people's welfare, and role of regional and local governments. Methods include analysis of statistical data, interviews, and questionnaire survey. Concerning analysis of statistical data, we intend to analyze data of 34 municipal districts in the Yakutsk city, including census data and so on. Interview, in our intensive field work, we want to make interviews with regional and local officials, local residents, business persons. Concerning regional officials, we are considering Ministry of Economics, Ministry of Finance, and so on. And interviews of local government, companies of resource development, and local residents planned as shown here. We want to make a questionnaire survey to grasp the local people's perception of climate change, the local environmental transformation, and their living conditions. This is a photo of the survey with a questionnaire in our previous research. We have not yet decided the plan or scheme of our questionnaire survey. We want to consult with Russian researchers who want to conduct these surveys with us. And output of the project, organization of international symposium and seminars in Sapporo and other cities in Japan, and proposal of joint panels at international conferences on Arctic issues, and submission of joint academic papers to peer-reviewed journals. This is a photo of the front page of the teaching material entitled Permafrost and Culture, published in 2019 in Russian language, based on our previous research in Yakutia, which contributes to deepening the people's perception of climate change. We are planning to publish this kind of book again in our new research. We are now seeking of our partners for this project. We want to carry out this project with Russian researchers who are studying these topics. We look forward to the intensive collaboration with Russian and Sakha researchers. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. Okay, so now we are moving to the next presentation, also the joint one, which will be made by Konstantin Grigoriev and Leonid Blecher about islands in taiga. Yes, please. Okay, Marina-san, maybe we can move further. Okay, maybe we can move further if this two gentlemen is not ready to make the presentation right now, so we can move to Aida Mamadova, who represents the Kanazawa University. Yes, please. Okay, so now we can move further. Stepanova Nadezhda represents the State Assembly Iltumen of Republic of Sakha. She will make a presentation which is focused on sustainable development. Yes, please, Nadezhda. No,
Hello, dear colleagues. I'm very glad to be with you. Now I'm going to try to demonstrate my, yes. Okay. So, can you see my
Yes, everything is fine, Nadezhda.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Thank you. Okay. So our presentation has some results of this year running seed projects of the Finnish Academy with the name Sustainable Development of the Sparsely Populated Territories, the case of Russian Arctic and Far North. We are to contribute the theoretical and practical gap regarding the spatial dimension of sustainable development. And we argue that policies aimed at stimulating economic growth in the peripheral territories have not led to a long-term increase in the quality of life or stabilization of the ecological situation. We also argue that sparsely populated territories are not doomed to remain the path of sustainability. A promising model of the development can be built on the basis of ecosystem approach, natural capital estimation and management, and we discussed the adjusted net savings index as indicator of this sparsely populated territory sustainability. And we also, in the second part of our research, try to apply satellite monitoring of NO2 emissions to economic and compare the level of emissions to the economic.
Nadezhda, sorry, the slide is not moving. Please. Okay, now it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Here you can see the notion of sparsity with regard to territories. It is relative and depends to the context in which it's used. Sparsity as a relative geographic descriptor that lends insight into the equilibrium between population and resources at a given place and a given time. Sparseness as a functional parameter to outline population densities operating below the margin of easy access to services and goods. And we see that these territories represent a wide group of heterogeneous and diverse localities, and the analysis is to be based on the multi-scale approach. Yes, we describe the particularities of the first and second nature factors according to the center peripheral development of the Paul-Krugman model and apply to the northern STP to highlight their typological features in nature, climate, demography, accessibility of infrastructure and settlement system, etc. And we also give the specification of sparsely populated territories, socio-economic development in the Russian Arctic and Far East. We know that about 55% of the total territory of Russia qualifies as sparsely populated. And we argue that governmental order made in 2004 that outlines certain territories as sparsely populated, and we see that above 200 of municipalities in 27 regions of the Russian Federation are regarded as sparsely populated, but this recent normative act regulation is outdated. Okay, and then we, for the Russian region data panel, for the 2010-2018, there is a correlation dependence between the low population density and the production of regional GDP per capita, transport connectivity, migration dynamics, cost of living, subsistence rate, wages and budget spendings, and urban amenities. Actually, we tested about 30 indicators in our data panel and outlined this one. Despite uneven but positive economic dynamics, Russia's sparsely populated territories face disadvantages in both demography and social development. They produce about 20% of GDP of Russian Federation and 32% of total mining industry output. During the period analyzed, mining industries tend to dominate in economies of STP. The growth of regional GDP production in sparsely populated territories was achieved due to the gross value added increased in mining, preliminary and oil and gas industries, and in the same period in Russia in the whole, economic growth contributed not only by mining sectors, but also public administration, transport and telecom, real estate services, health and agriculture. So we say that Russian STP territories rely on the first nature factors concentrated at individual points and yielding sufficiently high returns to overcome at the economic and social cost of production and distribution. As for the COVID situation, there is a difference between new economic centers of STP and old ones in output dynamics, and it should be analyzed further. Okay. We also argue that Arctic and Far East sparsely populated territories appear as an important place in the future ecosystem market, ensuring sustainability in terms of providing environmental farming services at the global, national, and local scales. Apart from mineral resources, the natural capital of Russian sparsely populated territories include 63 of Russia's total natural ecosystem assets, about 80% of special protected natural territories, over half of a biological stock, and the potential to regulate the hydrosphere, saving and regulating fresh water. This is the data we obtained from the estimation made in Ecosystem Services of Russia prototype of the national report. And we also
У нас совсем нет. Сейчас зашли те, кто не могли выступить.
Okay.
Надежда.
Okay.
Давайте заканчивать.
Yes. And as for the adjusted net savings index, it is an aggregated indicator of sustainable development. It shows the rate of accumulations of savings adjusted for the depletion of natural resources, environmental pollution, and human capital investment as a percentage of GDP. This index illustrates the dependence of future welfare on investment and fixed access and natural and human capital in accordance with sustainable development in long-term economic growth. We calculate this index for the Russian STP on database of 10 years or more than 10 years period. And we see the negative values of this index, which indicate unsustainable types of development, is characteristic for all STPs with a high share of mining in their value-added structure. Yes, This is a kind of a preliminary, our outcomes of our research, and we are very interested in Mr. Shinichiro Tabata project, and we discussed it because on the second part of our project, we go into the municipal level and study NO2 emissions and the participatory research as well as a method. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Nadezhda.
Thank you. We have Aida now, right?
Okay, okay, so.
Okay, we have Aida.
Kanazawa University, yeah, Aida Mamadova, yes, please, it's your turn. Okay, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you for the floor. And I would like to start the sharing my project now. It's about the Biosphere Reserves project that we're conducting at Kanazawa University. And I will be very short. So we have got the project from the Ministry of MEX from 2017. And we have 4 main fields of the exchange. One is a cultural exchange. Second is a natural science and basic science exchange. And the third one is for training courses for the engineers and the internship. And the final is the preventive medicine courses. And you can see in the graph the results of our achievements, how many students we have sent outbound to Russia. In 2009, it was 18, and inbound, it was 57. We received 57 students from Russia. And we are doing lots of in symposiums and in the fields of physics, in the fields of natural sciences, internships to the companies in Japan and in Russia, and in the fields of medicine as well. And we have created the consortium as well. So this is the consortium that we created between our Japanese 12 universities and 8 universities of Russia. And we're doing double degree programs. We provide the degrees in the physics. And this is the number of companies you can see here. It's 9 companies that we're doing internship. It's Japanese companies, and we are sending their Russian students who train there for 1 week and learn about the enterprises. And this course that I wanted to emphasize, it's about the Biosphere Reserve that I'm conducting personally. We're doing exchange program inside the Biosphere Reserve, such as Volga-Kama in Kazan, Katunsky Biosphere Reserve, Baikal Biosphere Reserve, and Far East Marine Biosphere Reserves. And we have sent already for more than 100 Japanese students to the Biosphere Reserves. And this is the page of Russia, where you can see that we have sent the regions where we send Japanese students to Far East University and Irkutsk State University, Altai State University, Moscow State University, Kazan Federal University, St. Petersburg State University, and each university that we go, we definitely visit the Biosphere Reserves on the regions. Why Biosphere Reserves? Because it's a great platform to teach about sustainability, and during the cultural exchange, we need exchange with the local people, and Biosphere Reserves provide a great opportunity to communicate with local people. The same thing is happening in Japan. When Russian students come to Japan, they learn and train about the Biosphere Reserves and nature protection. And this is just I will conclude now. I know we are short in time. It's just a student association that we have created with Russian alumni at Kanazawa University. It was created just recently. Unfortunately, we haven't visited the northern part of Russia, but I hope that for the next year we will do it. And I'm looking forward to listen for your presentation and to further collaborations with you. Okay, this is all from my side. Thank you for the attention.
Thank you, Aida. I'm terribly sorry for so much all the technical trouble you had.
It's my fault as well. I'm sorry. It's okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you very much. I'm happy to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
And now we have Konstantin Grigoriev, right, Mikhail?
Yes, I'm waiting for this presentation. Yeah, yes, please. Konstantin Grigoriev and Leonid Bляхер, the joint presentation. Yes, please.
Konstantin, can we help you? Are you okay? Can you hear us? Konstantin? Konstantin, can you hear us? We have a joint presentation by Konstantin and Leonid. Konstantin and Leonid, can you hear us?
Yeah, it's a joint presentation. I think that Konstantin maybe will make it. Okay.
I'm not sure they can hear us because they do not respond.
Okay. So
okay?
Now we can move. So maybe he needs some extra
to Juha, to Juha, because they've just joined.
Yes. Okay. So Juha Saunavara, one more presentation from Arctic Research Center of University of Hokkaido. Yes, please. It's your floor.
Then we'll move to Konstantin. Okay. Sorry, Konstantin.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes. Everything.
Yes.
Fine? Yeah.
Yes. And can you see my slide? Can you see my slides?
We can see your desk. Okay, now it's better.
Okay, so basically I have recorded a lecture and uploaded that in the YouTube. So I hope everybody who is interested in this topic has been able to watch the video. So I will be really short, just going through the main points of my presentation. As mentioned in the lecture, the global data center industry is a huge and rapidly growing sector, and there are data center clusters also in many northern regions. And the idea of attracting new data center industry has been incorporated in regional development strategies in different parts of the Arctic and North. And I like to point out that it's not only about social or economic sustainability, the questions where we build data centers and what kind of data centers we build, it's awfully important from the environmental side as well. This slide shows different types of data centers and introduces certain factors or key factors influencing the data center site selection. So these kind of factors affect when people decide where they will build their data centers. Again, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer afterwards. Then this slide is giving a few important messages. It's easy to think that data center industry consumes electricity and has a huge carbon footprint, and we want to save energy, and then one might conclude that we should not build data centers, but that's not true. Data centers are facilities designed to host servers. So significant savings of energy can be achieved if a server running in data center can replace several servers running outside the data centers. Again, one more point that I want to make is that there's always a reason why data centers are built. They are answering to the demand originating from other industrial sectors. Why Arctic and North are a good match with the sustainable data center industry? There are a few reasons representing Nordic countries. They have been really successful in attracting data center investments. But then there are things like cold climate that is shared all northern regions. The idea of utilizing cold climate when cooling data centers is nothing new. Recently, much more attention has been paid to the possibility of reusing the waste heat that originates from data centers. Especially in the Nordic countries, this has been really developed, this idea. Basically, we can reuse the heat through district heating systems. And then there are other applications, kind of integrating data centers and greenhouses, fish farming, biomass drying, and things like that, so that we can make our data centers more energy efficient. This slide is just referring to a few papers I have published concerning the Arctic submarine fiber optic cable projects, and I give more details in my lecture. I only want to point out that yesterday we received information from Cinia and Megaphone. They announced their Japanese, Norwegian, and Finnish partners, so the Arctic Connect project is moving on. In my lecture, I also explained the data center industry in different parts of the Arctic and North. I can't claim that I would know much about Russian situation, but I have understood that the data center industry in Russia is heavily concentrated both in market share, so there's only a few companies, and then in spatial distribution. So data centers are located in Moscow and in St. Petersburg. Although this sector is developing rapidly in Russia, and there are regions in northern and peripheral regions in Russia that have both cold climate, they have cheap electricity, and they are hosting nowadays, for example, cryptocurrency mining. And maybe in the future, they can also become hotspots or places where data centers are established. Again, the last slide is just describing the economic impact that large-scale data centers can have on regional and national economy. And I had a few kind of concluding ideas about the future of data centers in the Arctic and the North. There is obviously how the sector develops in the South, in the traditional focus areas that affects the North. Then the growing consciousness concerning the environmental impact of the data center industry also may support the idea of developing data centers in the North. But then again, technology is moving on, and then there's the human factor. Although data centers often would, the economic and environmental and technological parameters might say that we should construct or establish data centers in the North, there are still business leaders, decision makers, politicians who like to think that the ICT equipment should be located in the central locations. But again, I'm happy to answer any questions, and I hope you have had time to watch my video. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juha. Konstantin, can you hear us? Konstantin has problem joining this session.
Okay, so we've heard already.
Just a minute. Can you see him? Because he's been trying for the last hour, trying to join us.
Yeah,
Konstantin Leonid.
He was in Zoom already.
Leonid Blechin. No, I can't see him. He said that his Zoom connection failed for some reason. He can't explain.
Yeah, he was in Zoom, but now he's not in. So so we already heard 8 presentations.
Yes.
Only one more left from Konstantin or Leonid. Maybe they will come later. So now,
yes.
Marina, we can start.
Let us give them the floor if they join. Okay, Mikhail.
Yeah.
We
Sure.
now start. Okay. So please excuse us if we interrupt and switch to our presenters. Okay. Okay. Any questions? Could you please send them to the general chat?
Yeah, so we can send
If you have any questions
to the general chat, or just can start to discuss or giving questions to each other, also by using microphone. I think that it's also possible. From my side, only one word. I really enjoy the Professor Tabata Sensei proposal for the joint research project. It's really I really like it, really enjoy. I think that somehow it's include many of other presentations which was made by other people. Of course, it's really looks like really regional, municipal level, but it's really microeconomy, microgeography, small and medium-sized entrepreneurship, and many other things, connectivity, and so on. So I think that during this discussion today and afterwards, we can try to find partners, like Aida mentioned, that they are looking for someone else to this project, or Professor Tabata Sensei is looking for some other projects. Okay, so it's an open microphone, of course, so you can show the arm and opportunity or your wish to say something. Okay. Yes, Juha, you're welcome.
Okay, so if I just start making one question, I think there were at least a few presentations talking about the economy-related problems in Russian Far East, Far North. Economic activities being concentrated both spatially, geographically, and sectorally. and there was a lack of infrastructure and local networks, and then the lack of SMEs and the small local markets and things like that. So I was just wondering what could or should or could be done, or what should be done. And we have recognized these kind of problems. So what kind of role could the academic community play here? So for the development of the SMEs in these regions, is there a need for new knowledge or education or ideas, or whether any of our Russian colleagues who gave fascinating presentations could comment, what could the academic community do to boost the sustainable economic development in Yakutsk or far east, far north Russia?
Okay, any comments? Who want to say something to this question? Maybe Alexander, maybe you? Okay.
Okay, let me try to give my point of view. Well, I think what actually scientists, I mean the scientist community, can give for establishment of better economic cooperation is actually there should be better collaboration between scientists of different countries, because we have a really lack of understanding on doing business, for example, in Finland and in Russia, or in the United States, in Japan. So if we can just shrink this gap, if we can give this knowledge to business people, probably it will have a very positive impact. So that's my point of view.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, maybe I can add some words also about this. As I mentioned in my presentation, it was very shortly about organizing scientific and education centers in Russia in modern history, and during the last only 2 years. It's also a very interesting case because we are focused on accepting, receiving some private money for research. So more closer relations with the companies who are working in this region. And in case of Far East, we have some problems because yes, we have so many mining deposits here. We mine it, but majority of companies who are working here, they came originally from other parts of the country. So the headquarters is not here, not in the regions of the Far East. So they have smaller branches here. It's one problem. From scientific point of view, academical society point of view, when we in Yakutsk, Chukotka, Kamchatka, and Magadan, we organize our joint scientific and education center, North, we need to make an agreement, and we got an agreement, official signed it with Russian Academy of Science, with Siberian branch of Russian Academy of Science, because some institutions on this territory, they are under Novosibirsk. And also we signed one more agreement with the Far East branch of Russian Academy of Science, because some of institutions of this territory they represent this one. So, and of course, I agree with Alexander that it's good that we need to use the official resources of different funds which are working in our country and new programs to invite more foreign scientists to become partners for this research, because you are working in same conditions, maybe some knowledge which you have on your side, it's very important. Okay, maybe one more, Nadezhda, or someone else from our side. Yes, Otsuka-sensei, yes, please, Professor. Yes, Otsuka-sensei, yes, please.
Okay. So I just prepared one slide regarding today's discussion. So can I share my slide?
Yes, sure.
Can you see my slide?
Yes.
So today I got many interesting ideas and thoughts, and I felt that there's many gaps. But for example, remoteness in sparse population, unique condition like ecosystem, geographic condition in the Arctic, and large-scale project versus small-scale project or entrepreneurship project or activities in the local community. and large and small. But you have showed us some possibility of connectivity, and I felt that what the scientists and researchers can do is to bridge over the gaps or provide some ideas which can strengthen to bridge over the gaps. This is my idea, or what I thought regarding the Yuha's questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. So, Professor Otsuka, you can use it, yeah, for on the final stage when we will talk as a result of our section, maybe. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's a good point. Okay, more people. Okay, more question maybe. Okay, maybe Tabata-sensei, if it's possible, I want to ask you to say a few words. Also, maybe questions to some presenters, because as you mentioned, you are only on the first stage of your new project. You are searching for some new people, some new partners. Maybe you already found someone during this discussion, during our section. Okay, please.
Mihail, you mean I say something?
Yes, we can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. Only thing we'd like to on this project, we want to make collaboration with Sakha researchers, because our research concentrates on the regions, districts of Sakha Republic. So, please help us to first collect the statistical data and analyze these data and and so on. So we welcome any specialist. Yeah. Of course, I already talked this project with some colleagues of Northeastern Federal University, but other researchers who are interested in the topics are welcome. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Yes, maybe I can add a few words also, because 100 years ago, the Academy of Science of the Soviet Union organized the first Yakutian complex expedition on the huge territory, vast area of northeast of Asia. Many groups of scientists was involved from different parts of the country and spent a lot of years in expeditions, prepared many results. And 100 after, we initiate this from Republican government, Republic of Sakha, to organize the second complex academic expedition. It started in 2016, so we spent 2 years in making research on 5 major regions of Sakha, where it looks like it was in the presentation of Professor Tabata, the dividing of regions. And next year, we will go to the second stage of this new modern Yakutian complex academic expedition. So I will try to use some of your ideas for this expedition. Maybe it's possible to involve you to be a part of this expedition, Professor Tabata. Okay, thank you. It's one of the way of cooperation, I think, yeah, because we are finding the resources on our side, because it's a vast territory, so many need to travel, so many expenses, and of course data, as you mentioned, it's very important, data from municipal level.
Алло, Константин Вадимович.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Marina-san? Okay, so we are in discussion, okay? Thank you. Who else want to add something or to ask, doesn't matter, or to all presenters who is here? Yes, you can. Yes, please.
Yes. just if I had time for a second question, this is more specifically for Alexander Voronenko, I guess. First, as a comment, the two ways for the development of the Arctic region really reminded me of the book recently published by Kaarina Keskitalo and others, where they also talk about the differences between the development rates of northern and Arctic regions in North America and then in Europe and Scandinavia. And one of their major conclusions is that rather than being seen as Arctic, the northernmost mainland of Europe would be conceived as the Old North. And if you are working with this field and you have not read the book by Kaarina Keskitalo, I strongly recommend it. But the question I have is this Bering Pacific Arctic Council. I'm not too familiar with this initiative, so I would like to know a bit more about it, the background, and then what is the relationship between this new entity and then the old and existing ones, like the Association of Northeast Asia Regional Governments or the North Pacific Arctic Research Community and so on. So if you can tell a bit more about the background and connection between this new organization and the old or existing organizations.
Well, okay, as I already said that this idea was introduced in 2019, and actually today it's just we are still estimating on is there a possibility and is there a necessity for creating of such organization. As for the connection with other organizations, as you said, like Northeastern Economic Association and so on. Well, actually, this Bering Pacific Arctic Council, it should be like interregional council. So it should include like Russian Eastern Northern regions, like Sakha, Yakutia, Chukotsky Autonomous Region, then Kamchatka, and probably Magadan, and Alaska on the other side. So what's the idea is to try to solve all the problems of this eastern region, of the Bering region, in collaboration, because actually we have the same problems. And that's what we announced on the offered on this meeting in 2019 on Russian-American Pacific Partnership meeting. And for the year we were working, our working group was working on this project, and we did lots of estimations, investigations, and actually we made a final report. We were supposed to announce this report on the 25th meeting of Russian-American Partnership Organization, but because of COVID, this meeting was canceled. So now we are like, we have a pause in our work. So in my report and on the slides, which I shared with you, there is a website of our working group, and you can gain more information about it there. And any questions, if you have some, you can write me personally if you have any more. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have Konstantin Grigoriev, who would like to make a presentation. I'm sorry if I'm interrupting anyone. Can we try again? He cannot join us, join this Zoom session for some reason. So I want to show his presentation instead. Excuse me, just a moment. Just a moment. Okay, so I have this presentation. I'll be opening it, and I'll share, and I'll try to, okay, to see how it works. Just a minute. Алло. Константин Вадимович? Константин Вадимович.
Okay, islands in taiga. Yeah. Very close to the Scientific School of Institute of Geography in Irkutsk region. Yeah, this specific. I looked through before. Very good, very nice presentation. Yeah.
Yes, I think everyone did the same thing. Just wanted to remind this presentation was about on behalf of Konstantin. So Aida, are you present?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, this presentation was in Konstantin Vadimovich. This presentation was prepared by your partners in an attempt to show, well, their side, their vision of a prospective future area of collaboration on reserves.
Yeah, I was actually really waiting to listen for this presentation because we have visited Irkutsk several times, and I took there about 25 Japanese students to the Baikal Biosphere Reserve and the area of the taiga. And it was so impressive for the students to touch the real Russian nature, to feel that wildness, and to feel how this taiga is supporting the life of the local people, how the forest is feeding people, how the nature is feeding people, actually. Because in Japan, you cannot see it now. Everything you go to the supermarket and buy from the supermarket, but that experience was unforgettable. Yes, and we are actually planning to create our as a consortium, our new office in Irkutsk State University for the next year. And I hope for the collaboration of the Professor Konstantin in the future as well.
Okay, thank you, Aida. Yeah, very good point. Thank you. And beside of this, I can accept from a scientific point of view that I am representative of the Scientific School of Irkutsk, so Irkutsk State University and Institute of Geography, Russian Academy of Science, academicians named by academician Sachava. So I'm really close to this research. So I know from where it's, so it's like we have the same teachers originally with these two presenters of Konstantin and Leonid. So I think that it will be very helpful, and maybe even we can take some methodology from this research. Thank you.
Definitely. I'm looking forward for the collaboration between Irkutsk because it's a region with Lake Baikal and the taiga around it, and it provides so many scientific research opportunities and also cultural exchanges. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, small in number people of the north, yeah, so they have some specific also to study nature using, so different ways of nature use by representatives of different groups of people who came to this region. Okay.
Mikhail Yurevich, can
yes,
you hear me? I wanted to thank Aida for her valuable comments and mention that Leonid Vladimirov, director of Yakut Scientific Research Institute of Agriculture, wanted to share a few comments and outline their project. Leonid,
yes, okay,
can you hear
okay.
us?
Okay.
We can switch to you and Alexander if you're ready. Are you ready?
Okay, Leonid Nikolaevich, Okay, and Alexander Popov. Yes.
Leonid Nikolaevich, Alexandra.
So you can start.
Are you going to speak? Are you going to talk, Alexandra? Okay.
Okay.
Да, спасибо большое. Спасибо большое, Марина. Спасибо большое, Михаил Юрьевич. Я передаю слово... Нас слышно? Очень хорошо. Нас слышно?
Да, да. Yes.
Передаю слово Леониду Николаевичу, члену-корреспонденту.
But are you going to talk in Russian or in English? Because it was a joint decision that everything on this session will be made in English. Okay.
So I will be translating to English.
Okay. You're welcome. Yes, please. Леонид Николаевич, пожалуйста.
Добрый день. Добрый день. Мы хотели бы сделать маленькую презентацию и ознакомить вас с нашими планами. Я думаю, наши планы вам понравятся. Пожалуйста.
Dear participants, hello. So we are going to introduce a little bit our activities. We hope that you will be interested in some of them.
But no more than 5 minutes, okay? So it was not my decision, but Marina's decision to include your presentation here, okay?
Thank you so much.
Хорошо справимся. Холод – это наше главное богатство в Якутии, надо сказать, как материальное, так и духовное. Все у нас зависит от холода.
So everything in Yakutia is related to cold.
Вот мы хотим вам представить вот такой слайд, где в течение 40 лет наблюдений потепление произошло на 2 градуса.
And we see the increase in temperature.
So in average, the increase of air temperature is about 2 degrees Celsius in Yakutia.
И их содовые клещи, они уже
And
обнаружились,
these
раньше они
ticks,
обнаружились только
if
на
they were
юге
found
Якутии, то они
in the
уже
south of
перешли
Yakutia,
за полярный круг.
right
Это
now they
простейший.
cross the polar
So
circle.
there is a very alarming fact that Ixoda ticks, they have already migrated above the polar circle because of the climate warming.
Ну, мы предлагаем даже
And we
провести мониторинг наступления
want to have some monitoring
как наступает потепление.
So it is very important for human. We are inviting you or somebody interested to monitor the move of insects and other parasites to the north.
Но простейшие новые
these
простейшие
simple
появляются, значит,
insects are
среда
appearing,
меняется.
it means that environment is changing.
Is area is changing, so that means that the environment is also changing.
И научному сообществу
And the scientific community needs to pay a close attention to it.
Community should put its how to say should put its should be interested and should study them.
И в связи с этим мы
And that's why we wanted to make an expedition this year on a ship to
So
Tixi.
as some of you know, we were going to make an expedition, to organize an expedition to the Arctic this year.
Но в связи с коронавирусом
But due to coronavirus, we had to postpone it to the next year. And that's why who we invited, we will make it next year if the pandemic will not hamper us.
Due to coronavirus pandemic, we had to postpone this expedition, and we had to change to move this expedition to the next year, to the 2021. So there were those participants who were interested. So please stay on tune. We are going to if coronavirus pandemic lets us, so we are going to make it anyway next year.
And we will study the impacts of climate warming onto traditional economies that you see on this slide.
During expedition, we are going to study impact of climate change to traditional activities in the north, the ones that are in this picture.
This is the material part of our culture, and when it changes, spiritual part of it will also change.
Only material part of our culture, but if we look at the social impact, at the cultural impact, so we have to study how, we have to make a research how would it be.
And there is a thought that warming can be good for agriculture.
So there is a point of view that climate warming would be good for development of agriculture.
Так, поэтому вот мы предлагаем вам программу. Здесь
So here's the program.
So we are introducing this program to participants of this session.
Ну и в ходе экспедиции,
and during the expedition, it will last for 10 days. We will talk and make new contacts with Japan, with Germany. There were some also scientists from China, Korea, Russia, Kazakhstan, Belarus. So I think it's going to be exciting communication. And we will also show you our traditional economies, our nature, and I think we'll have a good communication. And after that, we want to hold such expedition every year in middle reaches of Lena River to study all these changes.
This expedition is going to be international, and so far scientists from Japan, from Germany, from China, from Kazakhstan, and several other countries are interested to join this expedition. So it will be technically equipped, and we hope that there will be a very interesting community to be able to discuss everything. And we are going to show and demonstrate how you can see in the field how agriculture is doing the nature and the field itself.
In February this year,
so we talked about the discussion at the previous meeting in Sapporo and in Tokyo.
Thank you for your attention.
So, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leonid Vladimirov, who is a corresponding member of Russian Academy of Science. Only a few months ago, he was chosen to Russian Academy of Science. And thanks to young lady Alexandra Popova for translation. And also, I remember that, Alexandra, you got your PhD from University of Hokkaido. So also, you have relations with Japan. Okay, thank you. So all of us, we are working in time. So Tabata Sensei, Otsuka Sensei, I think that we are ready to close the section. Maybe some final words, some final suggestions to Otsuka Sensei, who will present as a moderator the results of our section. Are there any suggestions or some extra words? But I think that maybe it's okay already. Marina-san, okay, we are in time.
Yes, I think everyone needs a break now, and please confirm that you have all seen the link above. Shall I resend it again? Concluding plenary session, and organizers, the technical team saying that there should be no problem with joining it. I really hope that we will see all of you. And now we are going to have a break, and the organizers will have 20 minutes to prepare the resume of this session. So we'll see you all in 20 minutes. Please come back.
Okay, see you all of you. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.